Let's get this meeting underway. So, hello everybody. Um, First of all, I'm gonna just start off with something really amazing, which is it's not come out. Can you see this? This is Hubble's variable nebula that Reloggy. I've probably got that name wrong. 1, 2, Space Madness, Elucin, the Cyber Brick, C. Constantine, D. Mark, Ken, Just a Dude with a Camera, Exotic Astro, elSchabei, and Astrothad, and of course Mr. Crazy Physicist, who I don't think is here because he's on a date with Mrs. Crazy Physicist tonight. Why he'd prefer to be doing that than this, I don't know. But this is Hubble's variable nebula, and even better than last year, we have got the light echoes rippling through it, which is astonishing. Now, I really need to get this sent off to the APOD guys. And I didn't do anything towards this. This is just those guys, and particularly Mr. Crazy Physicist. So it's amazing work. And we, once again, probably going to be a little bit of a theme of tonight. Once again, we are tremendously unlucky that we didn't get any more action on this nebula. It has been going batshit crazy like a couple of years ago. And this year, once again, it's been very quiet. However, most people don't even get the light ripples, even on, and we have, and we've done it really well. So I like to think that we are honing our skills and getting better. So that, if for those of you who don't know, there's a channel here in the back called Hubble's Variable Nebula, and people contribute every week. They take a shot of Hubble's Variable Nebula, and yeah, this is the result so far this month, and it's a variable star essentially, and the sort of arcs that you're seeing moving across it are moving through that nebula at the speed of light. Now it's quite a long way away. I can't remember how far away it is actually. Hopefully someone can correct me. I'm gonna go. It's like 1,000 light years away. But please chime in if you know better than me. That's just really off the top of my head. There is another nebula that Space Madness has been getting. Space Madness, you here? Do you want to put your hand up and we'll get you up?
Hi, Roy. Yes, I'm here.
Hey, buddy. So tell us a little bit about the other nebula that you've been getting.
The Hind variable nebula.
Yeah.
It's a tougher target than Hubble's. It's not quite as bright, so we really have to work at it.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to monitor something besides Hubble because we're kind of had all our eggs in one basket, and it's been brilliant, especially Mr. Crazy Physicist's work, but it just hasn't been active. So me, Elucin, and elSchabei together have pulled together enough data to make a pretty good video, I think, thanks to Mr. Crazy Physicist processing tutorial. And it has been active. It has been popping off. In fact, if I known to be so good, I would have not diverted my attention so much and like filled out more imaging days. But if you call up the Hubble's variable nebula, I just last night actually reprocessed it to make, I think, the best GIF or GIF of the lot. I'm not sure if you're able to show that.
Here,
right at the bottom.
Come on, there.
Yeah, and if you can, I don't know if you can open it in the browser or not to get the.
There we go. I hope.
Yeah, it's even better. That's actually compressed. If you look at a browser, it's even better. So this is like
Yeah.
a degraded image.
Yeah,
But
you can see the
it's
compression.
absolutely.
There is quite a lot of compression there, isn't there? But yeah, there's definitely. Gosh, what's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's I've heard it said that it's you think it's going to be just shadows as usual, but I've also heard it speculated that it's lit internally and it actually not due to the star that seems obvious at present at all. No, I don't know, but it seems clear that over the space of about 6 months here, it has been markedly changing. So, yeah,
So
I'm pretty. Go on.
whereabouts in, so Hubble's Variable Nebula is kind of to the left of Orion, right? So all of us guys in Europe and North America stand a pretty good chance of getting at it. Whereabouts is Heinz?
So it's going to be a bit more to the west. So I've looked at it. There's like three nebula that we really have a chance at. 1333, NGC 1333, which is the most east. Next in line is Heinz, and then maybe an hour or two later, Hubble is about right to be looked at. So you can kind of work your way across the sky as they go into peak position.
Oh, so you can get it from Europe then?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, I'm in
Oh,
Vancouver, Canada,
why
so
did
I'm
I
at the same
think it was?
elevation.
Why did I think it was a southern target? Oh, okay. I was getting confused. There's another target in the south that I was a southern target that I thought was the next best one to get. Gosh, this is very exciting. So
Absolutely.
you know when I told you that Hind's Variable Nebula was closer than Hubble's Variable Nebula, and therefore, and I was wrong basically. And the reason the distance the distance that we are from these variable nebula is important is because if you're looking at light echoes like on Hubble's Variable Nebula, right, the arcs, the ripples are moving at the speed of light. Okay, so Hubble's Variable Nebula is quite a long way away, so it takes a good day for the speed of light to ripple a significant distance for us to see it. So you want to shoot it like every day. But if you've got a closer nebula, and I don't know if Heinz is closer because I haven't looked it up, but in order to get those ripples, you want to you want your time period to be kind of truncated shorter, like of the order of hours, perhaps, if it's a lot closer. But actually, it'd be interesting to find if someone could find out how far away Heinz is, because that does make a difference to getting those, to animating those light ripples, getting the timing spacing correct. I think we do Hubble's Variable Nebula like once a week. But as well as the light ripples, there's also shadows. And so you're saying that this is, so I'm imagining there's a variable star in there. Do you think?
Uh, yes, although I thought I saw something saying the star was inside the nebula and you couldn't actually see it.
Yeah,
But I don't know if that's true or not. I don't want to go out too far on a limb.
yeah,
In terms of timing, I can say, so this has been over the space of 6 months.
yeah.
So it's, um, however, I haven't imaged it as much as I would have liked to. For the most part, it's been, me with the camera.
Yeah.
Um, but in elSchabei's, he did like three images over the space of about a week or so, and like the last two, just a couple days apart, blinking back and forth. I'm like, that bottom shadow is moving, I swear. So
So
what could be there?
yeah. So maybe it's every other day or something. Might be really cool. Gosh, now we know that it's doing stuff. We should try and get on this, shouldn't we? We should rename Hubble's Variable Nebula chat to make it just Variable Nebula, and include Heinz as well. How long is Heinz up for? When's it going to go below the horizon?
It's going to get below the horizon. We have longer. For where I'm at, I only have about an hour and a half now before it's below 30 degrees. So really at the tail end of the season for this one. And it's
Okay.
tough because it's harder. It's a dimmer nebula by far than Hubble's.
Yeah.
So I need like 1 hour minimum, really at least 2 hours to do a good job of this one.
And how fat is your scope?
And that's a 12-inch scope.
Right. Okay. Awesome, mate. Brilliant job. Well done.
I'm excited. I mean, what I would like to see, with the power of having multiple amateurs looking at this, is that we can monitor, say, maybe these three nebula next season, and then
Yeah.
focus our resources on the stuff that's active,
Yeah.
because then we have more chances.
Really good idea. I think we should definitely do that. And yeah, and I hope you'll be part of making that happen as well. That'll be awesome. All right, thank you, Spaceman. It's really appreciate it. I'm gonna throw you back into the fold now, or Toaster is, and I'm just
Sounds
gonna.
good. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Well done. I'm gonna get on with the next thing. So that was awesome. Obviously, the next thing is not necessarily so awesome. where do I start? I'm going to talk about me for a bit. Let's just go here. So, I went and visited this guy in Wales. His name's Alex, and I've forgotten the name of his horse. It was a rescue horse. Anyway, Alex was selling his C14. Woo! And I'm hiring it. There we go. I'll just show you. There, I did the can I pick it up? You can just about pick up a C14. Have I got another little picture here somewhere? That's coming up. This is coming up. Oh, anyway. So I hired this C14 in the autumn. And of course, it's like way too heavy for my Red Avalon linear. Fast, my 15-year-old Red Avalon linear. It's like an EQ6, that mount. But I don't know if you remember, I've got Big Bertha, and Big Bertha was 500 quid, and she came with a mount. This is from the 80s. This is now that mount I messed around with, thinking that I might be able to use it on something big like the C14 that I was hiring. And it doesn't, it's, you know, to be honest, I need go-to and to be able to hook it up to a computer. So I sent it off to Dave Woods from Darkframe, and he's in the process of trying to fix it so that it will carry the C14. Only it's been like, it's going to be a year. It's going to be a year since Dave's had the mount, and he still hasn't managed to get it going. He hasn't had the time to get it going. Which is obviously fine because he's not doing it for money, you know, which is, you know, I really appreciate that. So I was stuck with this C14, and in the autumn it didn't really matter because the autumn was absolutely rubbish here. I mean, just I thought 2022 was bad. 2023 was just terrible. And one of the things that I really wanted to do is shoot Andromeda, right? That was one of the bat targets, and I just didn't have a chance all autumn to shoot Andromeda. So we do have a lot of data in the bat from people who did shoot Andromeda. We don't have hardly any lucky imaging data. Now, I wanted to get the core of Andromeda, right? Because there's a supermassive black hole in the core, and there's supposed to be like a oval-shaped sort of red disk of older stars, and I really wanted to see if we could get that. Anyway, this year just gone, someone came out with this shot, which shows. Sorry, I just lost it, haven't I? This shot, which shows this O3 cloud up here, right? Which is amazing. So because the weather has been shit and we don't have any lucky image, well, there is some lucky imaging. I tell a lie, there is some lucky imaging data on Andromeda, but because I haven't got as much as I wanted with it, and I think it's going to be a really good target. Actually, I want to withhold processing Andromeda. I want to hit it next year. I want to get as many people as possible shooting it wide field with O3 filters. I want to try and get S2 filters. I want to get the absolute best possible shot of Andromeda that you can imagine. So the bad news is I'm going to hold off processing Andromeda this year. I mean, people can still process it if they want, but I'm not going to push to process it. And a lot of that is because the weather was so shit, I didn't get anything. But the weather did start picking up this spring, but I still didn't have a mount. So I was very lucky because this chap here, Andrew, he's got an EQ8, and he lent me in February. I don't know if you can let me get a better shot. He lent me. Oh, that's me with the CQ. There we go, the CQ 350. He lent me a CQ 350, and he's just let me hold on to it for another month as well. So Andrew A, thank you so much. you have saved my bacon, because now I can stick the C14 on. Where is it? Should have some shots here. Sorry, apologies about this. I don't, life's too short to get everything in order. There we go. There's the CQ350 with the C14 on it, and it balances with the help of a little bit of an extra weight there. I now have a really big mount, well, a pretty big mount, and an awesomely big camera, telescope I mean, and I've got a great camera as well. Everything that I need for lucky imaging, right? And all I needed was the weather. Now we have, this spring, had some weather. Unfortunately, Andromeda was gone. So I've been shooting, and I've been lucky, I've been lucky imaging Orion. Now, in a sense, Orion is a rehearsal for a target that's coming up, M106, but I want to take us through Orion, and apologies to people who have uploaded stuff for Andromeda. I'm not going to go through your stuff today. If there's a big rebellion, then we will edit Andromeda, but I think we've got quite a few other targets that we need to process, and that we stand a good chance of getting astonishingly amazing processes done. I'm going to talk about Orion first. So let's just run through what some people have done. What shall I do? I'm going to talk about me for a bit. We started with me, haven't we? So yeah, I was lucky imaging Orion, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about lucky imaging, my experience with lucky imaging. I've done Orion. Let me just, sorry, I don't know where I'm coming or going. Here we go. So I just want to talk about, first off, and I know this is kind of a backward order. I want to talk about processing. And I personally believe that AutoStacker isn't the best for lucky imaging processing. I appreciate I'm like jumping ahead a lot. Let me just get this out of the way. I just want to say this. So here's a close-up of this kind of like the snout, if you like, of Orion. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I processed it in AutoStacker, and then this is like an hour's worth of data. I'm super zoomed in. I'm just above. The trapezium is just here. If you can see my cursor. And I processed it in AutoStacker. Then the next hour after that, I did another process, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see. Here's the other process, but the dark nebula there, the dark clouds, actually kind of shift between the hours, right? And this is done in AutoStacker. And that shift, you probably can't see it because probably the feed isn't good enough. But basically, there's some dark clouds, and you look at one shot, and it's like here. And you look at the next shot and it's just moved a bit, right? And AutoStacker is made for planetary processing planetary shots, right? And it does, I think it does this thing called, I'm an editor, and it is the same as intra-frame editing. It'll stack stuff, the best stack in one area. It'll look at all of the shots and look at that one particular area of the image, and it'll stack all the shots on top according to what fits the reference frame, I believe, right? And the problem that I'm finding is that between stacks, it'll choose a slightly different reference frame, and maybe the dark cloud will be slightly one side or another side. And what that's going to mean is that if we're all lucky imaging and we're all using AutoStacker, then we're going to end up with getting everyone's subs are actually not going to align quite right. This is what I believe. I'm going to throw this out to everyone later on. I then did the process in Cyril, and I think Cyril is much better. So, yeah, I did infrared in Cyril, and I did IR in Cyril as well. Now, I didn't realize it, but there's some pretty cool stuff actually in this. Sorry, this is luminance, and this is I think 100 millisecond shots. So I did an hour's worth of 100 millisecond shots, which is 12,000 frames. And it's actually one movie because I did it in it's called an SER file instead of AVI. There's some pretty cool stuff here. I'm just gonna run through it. It's actually probably best if I am all over the place. Apologies for this. If I just look at what some of the other folks have done, because some of them have got it as well. So I'm going to start off. This is a shot by Mr. Crazy Physicist, and there were three things that I really wanted to get in the Orion Nebula. We've got all these baby stars forming, right? And the first thing that I wanted to get, and a lot of people have got this, is the bow shock. So I don't know if Ben Spacey Snaps is here. He's like the expert. But essentially, I believe, please correct me or look it up for yourself, but as I remember it, stars have like a magnetic field around them. I'm going to call it stuff. Stuff from the Orion Nebula is blowing out. Maybe it's a bit like solar wind, but on a bigger scale, because it's not just coming from one star. It's coming from the mass of the nebula, this amazing star forming region, right? And it's hitting the magnetic field and it's creating an arc. It's called a bow shock. Anyway, Mr. Crazy Physicist has done a wide shot, and many other people have managed this as well. They've managed to get the bow shock. I'm just going to zoom in, and this is well, if it is processed, it's not massively processed. Come on, where's the bow shock gone? Come on, brain. Oh, this is embarrassing. Sure. Oh yeah, here we go. It's actually quite. It's not graded to see it that easily, but there we go. There's a bow shock. Awesome. We can tick that off. And when we get the whole thing graded and whatnot, it's going to be even better. This is Hubble. This is the shot Hubble took. Here's that bow shock again. Right there it is. So we got that. Awesome. What else have we got? This is Anklo, I believe. And one of the other things I was really keen on getting was protoplanetary disk. So this is before a star. I assume, I don't know whether this is before a star actually ignites. I think the star has ignited actually. But anyway, there's a dark disk around the star of dust and stuff, which is going to form into planets. Now, Hubble got this. Let's have a quick look at Hubble's. Oh, you're not even looking. Sorry, you're not. I'm not showing you. I'm on the wrong thing. There's Hubble's protoplanetary disk. Remember, this shot is all graded and wonderful. So that is amazing. That's absolutely astonishing. I mean, we look at these things and we're like, don't have a sense of scale, but this kind of gives us a sense of scale. It's like our solar system-ish. It's probably bigger or smaller because I haven't checked, but it's of the order of size of our solar system. Maybe not the outer solar system, but anyway, well, someone will have to check, but it gives us a sense of scale, which I think is amazing. Now, Anklo shot this, I think with his club, did lucky imaging in color. Of course, you're losing quite a lot of the light when you do color because 2/3 of the photons, bounce off the filter because, the red filter won't let the blue and the green in, and the green won't let the blue and the red in. Anyway, looky here. Look what we've got. Protoplanetary disk, baby. There it is. Amazing. That's my shot in hydrogen alpha using the C14. This is Liaphine. Liaphine, you're here. So I'm just gonna show people this. This is a close up, right? I'm just gonna show people what you managed to get, because right there, protoplanetary disk. Now, Leophine, sorry, tell me what scope you were using for this.
Oh, I didn't even know I got it. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I was using my 8-inch, and those are, I took 60-second long exposures, and I just sharpened it with Blur Exterminator.
Wow. There we go. So some of the other shots we've shown aren't sharpened, but look, gosh, that's amazing. So obviously sharpening brings everything out a bit more. So I just think, and this is just part of Leophine's image, right? It covers you've got the whole nebula in basically, haven't you?
Yeah.
But look at this beautiful grading. I mean, we're going to do, when we get everyone's data together, we're going to do amazing stuff. So, well done. That was it, Leophine. Actually, I sort of made you hang on up here for ages. Did you want to say anything else about this image?
No, actually not.
And I apologise for not having the full image, but I just wanted, so this is just, I suppose the reason why I particularly want to single this out, and it's brilliant you didn't know you even got it, is 8 inches, folks. Obviously, seriously skilled astronomer that Leophine is. Her scope is collimated beautifully. I wonder if where she lives has got good seeing, I don't know. But 8 inches, and we're getting protoplanetary disks. Oh, and also, yeah, actually, and this has been, let me just go back to it once more, because look, there's a lovely, you can see the lovely shape of the bow shock there as well. So this is fantastic. Okay, thanks, Leophine. Go back to the masses now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Now, I just want to show you something else, because when I processed in serial, when I process my stuff in serial, now let's just spend a moment talking about lucky imaging, right? So I was in Devon. I was at my mum's place. I was with the big C14, and Orion. Well, and I shot Andromeda very briefly. It was above me, but it was like 6 p.m. or something. It was very early in the evening. Andromeda was basically on the way out. But I did a quick test, and my subs were the stars were quite sharp. Well, not very sharp. The seeing was quite bad, but because Andromeda was straight up, it was I was getting about 1.6 arc seconds. 1.6 arc second full width half maximum. That means the stars were from the full peak to the where the star's brightest in the middle, to where the stars there's no brightness from the star at all, right? The distance from the peak to the half the distance from the peak to the trough, if you like, to the dark bit where there's no star, was about 1.6 arc seconds. Then I pointed to Orion and started lucky imaging Orion. I think 100 or 200 millisecond shots with my luminance, and the peak to trough, essentially the blurriness of the star had increased to at least 2 arc seconds. And that's because Orion is at 30 degrees from the horizon, and you're looking through so much more atmosphere shooting Orion. So I think it's worth noting that Orion's a pretty stupid target for lucky imaging, because it's low on the horizon for most of us. Only 30 degrees up. However, Orion is really bright, so it's very, very useful for nailing our lucky imaging, right? And so, which brings me to my lucky imaging shot of Orion. Whoops, come on. So here it is, 100 millisecond shots. And this is unprocessed, right? So you can just about see the protoplanetary disk. So one would imagine when we get some more lucky imaging shots together, will be able to make this quite sharp and stand out rather nicely. Yeah, so I haven't done any sharpening here at all. This is straight from Cyril. And when I edited in Cyril, I was most delighted to find this. So this is a young star, right? And it's got a bubble around it, almost teardrop shaped. And that is called, I'm probably getting the name wrong, Proplid or something like that. Proplid. Anyway, there might be some more, but considering I'm shooting at 2 arcseconds, right? So we're not at the full peak of lucky imaging powers. To get this and for it to be unsharpened, and actually I can see some like detail in there as well. I mean, that's just crazy. I think that's amazing. So we're going to do a big push on editing Orion, and I have to say that we don't have that much data, in fact. So if anyone here has got Orion data, it's kind of like the wider field stuff that with the irregular scopes that we're kind of missing. I did try shooting Orion in some weird narrowband wavelengths as well, but I'm not gonna talk about that now because we've run out of time. Right, I'm just gonna have. You know what? I've been talking a lot. I'm gonna talk about the Horsehead, and I'm gonna talk about M106 that's coming up. But while we're kind of here, let's do some questions, shall we? So if anyone's got a question or anything they want to say, please put your hand up, and I'm going to have a drink, and possibly there's stuff, isn't there, in the comments that I haven't. Toaster, just grab people anyone, and just bring them up while I look through these comments.
Okay, so my question is, I have a 16-inch stop, and I did already do lucky imaging on Orion's once, but 250 millisecond subs were too long. Would I try it again with like 100 millisecond subs? And would it still be useful if my mirrors have some holes in it? The reflected surface has holes.
Oh, sorry. You've got a 16-inch Newtonian, yeah?
Yes.
Well, that's brilliant. And your mirror has some holes in it.
Yes, I got the top for free. The rocker box was destroyed and I didn't notice the mirrors, but it was for free, and the reflective surface has holes in it.
Okay, well, you know what? With everything that we do on the bat, the proof is in the pudding. You know, I would try it. Tell me, because we've got all. I don't know. You know, all Dobbs and Newts have a obstruction, right? So essentially, it's the same as having a big hole in the center of your mirror, right? So it's not the end of the world having some holes in it. Getting collimation is really important. And essentially put it through a program and see how sharp your stars are. And if you are getting under 2 arc seconds, then yeah, actually for the under 2.5 seconds even maybe for Orion, then I think it'd be great to have your data.
Nice. I'm gonna post my sub in the channel. Thanks for answering.
I think a 16-inch scope with holes in, depending on how big the holes are, is going to be better than a 12-inch scope without holes in, probably, if all else being equal. But yeah.
And I think I could put in a smaller mirror when I use my planetary cam, because it's so small sensor that I don't need a 15 centimeter big secondary.
Oh wow, that is a big secondary. How fast is the scope?
F4.5.
Right. So you've got 150 millimeter wide secondary. Gosh. Yeah.
Yes.
That is quite big, but it'll still be brilliant. All right. Thanks, JF, not Kennedy. Anyone else? Anyone else got any more questions? I mean, I have super skip. The one thing about lucky imaging is kind of like this right now is I'm not going to teach people how to lucky imaging in one go. We have a lucky imaging channel where you can ask questions about lucky imaging. But I can kind of guide. So you do have to know your shit to do lucky imaging, and you need a reasonably big scope as well, like 10 inches or bigger, really, 10 inches or fatter. But if you are someone with a reasonably big scope, and you've done this, you've reasonably experienced, then we'd love you. I mean, that is the goal. The goal of the bat, right, is to get amazing images, both incredibly deep. So we need the regular images for that to bring out incredibly deep stuff. Things like that O2 that was around Andromeda. I want us to do that. We need regular images for that. And we need lucky images to get sharper than anyone else. All right. And I'm super excited about Orion, actually. It's brilliant. All right. Anyone else? Any questions? Put your hand up. Come on. Otherwise, it's going to be me yabbering on. Just for ages. And then I'm going to have another beer. And then I'll talk absolute bollocks. Yay, Stefan.
Hi, Rory.
Stefan's here. How's the exams going, mate?
Well, I'm finished studying for tonight, so I have some time now, but I think they're gonna go all right. There's just one exam which I still have a lot of work to do, and the other one I think is gonna go well. And the
Awesome.
remaining exams which have already finished, they went well, so yeah.
Well done. Well done. So go on then. You've got a question. I'm going to mention you, by the way, later.
I don't know what I've missed actually, so that would be my question. If that is like in like one sentence, what was happening while I was gone?
Okay, I'm going to have to use commas, but it goes like this. Hubble's variable nebula, which I had nothing to do, amazing. Well done, guys. Andromeda, I personally didn't get to shoot it because the weather was shit all autumn. All autumn. I'm requesting that we don't process Andromeda yet, even though we've got loads of data, because I want to get the O3 cloud. I want to see if that, you know, that O3 cloud that got that someone shot.
Oh, the new one that
Yeah.
Marcel Drexler. Yeah, that's gonna be extremely faint, but that would be awesome if we can capture that actually.
I want us to get that and also try it in S2, and also I want more lucky imaging on the core. So I want to withhold processing that, and I want to have another go at it next year, because when we do an image, I want it to be like amazing. Orion, we have got not a huge amount of data on Orion, but we do have the bow shock. A number of us have got the protoplanetary disk, and also I have got a rather nice proplid thingy. And maybe some other people have, although we do need more people to post their regular Orion data. I think Orion's going to be amazing, but it's not brilliant for lucky imaging because it's so low on the horizon. Okay, that's basically it in as quick as I can without boring.
Cool, perfect.
All right. Anyone else got a question?
So have we mentioned yet, like, the horse head? Have we mentioned the horse head
No, I'm
yet?
just coming on to that, and that's where you get a mention.
All right.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's coming. It's coming. Anyone else got a question?
I do have one. So, have you considered doing a bat deep field image on maybe like a galaxy cluster?
I get this a lot, and yes, I'm very glad you said on a galaxy cluster, because I fear that the people who say let's do a bat deep field, the NASA, Hubble deep field. I know you know this. Hubble Deep Field, they pointed supposedly at a random bit of sky, right? If we did that, it wouldn't be very exciting. We would have to point at a galaxy cluster, I believe.
Sorry.
No,
you can go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, if you want to suggest where we point...
The coma cluster is what I recommended. Liafine did that, and her image was really good. I'd imagine if we did that, we could probably get something pretty interesting.
Yeah, I've always been a teeny bit disappointed with my shots of the coma cluster. The galaxies have got two of the largest massive sort of gravity wells. There's a couple of big ellipticals in there surrounded by smaller galaxies, right? And there's apparently a lot of dark matter, if we believe in such thing. And this sort of gravity well and the dark matter doesn't sort of cluster together. The dark matter, because it doesn't interact, it creates a sort of wider, the sort of gravity, the mass is more dispersed, right? It causes new stars not to form. So loads, and this is interesting in itself, loads of those galaxies around the Colin-Cut star, they're sort of all a sort of yellow color. And that's because they don't have the young blue stars forming in them. So it kind of is I always think of it as a bit of a galactic graveyard. So if we want to go for that, super cool. There's not the sort of loads of colors in there. If we were going for it, we'd want to go right now, I think, wouldn't we? Because it's...
It would be definitely perfect. I've seen two other galaxy clusters that were recommended, and they had gravitational lensing in them, although you need a really long focal length for them. That's the only issue.
Yeah. Well, I think we should definitely do a deep field. I mean, one of my problems is I'm not able to spend as much time on the bat as I'd like, just because of money, really. I've got to earn money, and so I'm not doing loads of targets. And I haven't done a bat meeting like this for blooming ages, and that was partly because of the weather was just so shit actually as well. And I've been getting the last couple of weeks I've gotten a video out which is doing incredibly badly as we speak. My one with interview with Lord Martin Rees. Anyway, so I'm kind of always looking for people who want to head up something. So yeah, if you wanted to head up a bat deep field and get a and sort of lead that, as it were. It is hard though. It is hard for people to lead this group because everyone knows me because I'm in the videos. Well, I assume people do, but it's much harder for everyone else because they're not known to everyone. Do you know what I mean? So in a sense, Stefan has been on the show and Mr. Crazy Physicist has been on the show. Essentially, I need to get more of you on my videos so that it's easier for you guys to lead and make stuff happen. So Man on the Moon, yeah, if you wanna push for a deep field and write up the blurb and get the reference frames sorted, then I can post it on the website.
Okay.
Or we go about it next year. Or unless there's a late, or if there's a late spring one, then that would be good as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So keep posted and do at Astro Biscuit me, because I don't really have time to check all the channels. I am, by the way, seriously pleased with everyone who is talking and chatting away. You know, I've been completely absent for months, and it's almost completely absent, and it's still working, and that is crucial. So I'm really, really pleased about it. It's not as much activity at some points when it first started out, but the fact that it can still keep ticking over with, I might add, people like Stefan and Batman and Mr. Crazy Physicist and Elucin, and yeah, I could go on. Space Madness actually has been really active recently as well. You know, with those guys' helps, I'm sure there are others that I missed. We are carrying on, and that is brilliant. When I'm rich and famous, I will spend a lot more time here. But yeah, is that cool, Man on the Moon?
Yeah, no, that pretty much answers everything.
Alrighty, pretty much. That's good enough for me. Okay, who else has got a question?
I guess I'll go. So I live in a Bortle 6 zone, right? I'm trying to, I'm getting an astro camera, like a monochrome camera soon. I was wondering if it was possible to capture the oxygen cloud from my portal location.
Yes.
Oh.
What, the Andromeda one?
Yeah, the Andromeda one, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
so a lot of stuff I get is people say, "Oh, it's too faint." Right? We can't do this, it's too faint. you could, for a start, narrowband imaging makes Bortle. I shot Orion. I shot my. I've done amazing, great. I'm going to come to one now. Horse's Head, shot from London. Right, you're going to see it in a minute. Looks amazing. I'm Bortle 8, right? So you're a couple of Bortles down from me, so you'll be able to do better. And they say, oh well, we'll never get that. 03 is so faint, we'll never get it, and unless we go somewhere really, really dark. But you can beat having a higher Bortle by shooting more stuff. The shot noise, so the noise from the light pollution, and obviously we're shooting narrowband, so a lot of that 99% of that is cut out with very narrowband filters. But anyway, you still do have some light pollution, even though you're cutting most of it out with narrowband filters. That the noise, and that's what we're fighting, the shot noise from all that glow, reduces with the square root of n, where the n is the number of shots that are taken. So if we have 25 people from a Bortle 6 location shooting, right, then you add all those shots up together, it's going to have 5 times less noise, right? And when you're talking about 5 times less noise, then it's the equivalent of being somewhere much darker, right? So I think that you definitely can. And I think we should go. I think we should go for more faint targets on the back. I mean, who'd have thought, right? I was like, let's try and get these treasures in Orion, right? We've blooming only gone and got them, all 3 of them. Yeah, let's go for some faint stuff. And the more people the more the bat works, and I will be putting another video out and hopefully getting more popular and making more telescope videos. And hopefully this will grow. We've got to grow, and it can't grow with me just leading it, and it's beginning. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm waffling now because I've had a beer.
That's all good.
Did that
last year when we did the M82, M81 image, we had a few people shooting from light pollution, and I think one of them was living near me in a Bortle 7 location, and he managed to get some of the IFN dust in his image. Basically, the end of the story is just, I mean, Bortle 1 and stuff is great, but the Bortle 7, you just need to invest a lot more time into the image to get to the same level. Like, you need like much more time, but it is still doable. You just need to invest the time to get to the point. And I guess in the end, the processing is very important. That, well, obviously the ones who shoot from Bortle 1, they will have more of an impact in the final image, but in narrowband, this impact is not quite as big as in broadband.
Also, the number of people living in Bortle 1 is, I don't know if we've got anyone who's living in Bortle 1, but we have loads of people on the bat who are like Bortle 6, 7 and 8, right? And I'd love to do the maths on it, because it is a simple maths equation. How many more times do you have to shoot to get the equivalent of Bortle 1? And you know what? It might be that if we've got like 16 people shooting, maybe that's the equivalent of, gets of one person in that really dark location. And just the way things are, we do have a lot more people in a suburban area. So I definitely think this is worth doing. I've actually said that already, haven't I? Okay, I'll shut up.
So recently I've actually done this experiment myself. I've shot from home and I've shot from a Bortle 3, but I think it might have been even a Bortle 2 because there was like a lot of fog where the light pollution usually sits. So probably might have been even darker. And I came to the conclusion that from home, which was like a Bortle 7, maybe a 6, Bortle 6 to 7, it took about 5 times more data to get to the same signal to noise ratio as from that dark side. But that wasn't broadband. So that was not narrowband. I compared only broadband.
Oh, well, narrowband will be even more effective. Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Narrowband difference won't be as big.
Yeah, awesome. Brilliant. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Anyone else got a question?
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Matt. It's here. I've been wondering, the Test My Scope app, I guess, or whatever you want to call it in the Discord, that is brilliant, but it does break down for lucky imaging, and I'm wondering if there's something we can do about that. Because if you have like 10, 100 millisecond subs, there's not enough stars for it to find the 100 that it's looking for.
Ah. Yes. That was a Skippy's Happy Project, I think. Was that right? If I got the right name? And I don't see him here. But I would try and @ Skippy is Happy. Another person who's very good with the computery stuff is elSchabei, who also isn't here. So yeah, I would really appreciate it, Space Madness, if you could try and contact either of those two guys or ask the other mods, ask Stefan for a pointer, and see if we can change that. Yeah.
Sure, I'll follow up. I think it'd be helpful for people to know how they're really doing.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, I'm gonna talk about this in the end, but I think that for Lucky Imaging, so one of the things I've been trying to do is trying to get a sort of roadmap to how we can all do Lucky Imaging together and be effective, and it is to do with the full width half maximums, and I will describe using Cyril to help us decide what data to keep and not. For Lucky Imaging when I come to talk about M106, which is our big Lucky Imaging target that's coming up this spring. Is that all right, Space Madness?
Yeah, sounds great. I'll follow up. Thanks.
Awesome, thanks, mate. All right, any more? Last chance.
I just had one other question. How's your travel scope video coming along? I was really curious about that.
Yeah, it's coming along. Well, apart from the fact that I haven't finished it, you will be amazed. That's all I'm going to say. Something amazing has happened. But it's taken a long time. Yeah. There we go. Sorry, I can't say any more. I got edited it. All right. Why is test? I can only read half of these questions. Why is test my scope? Why is test my scope bat only? Yeah, I mean, to be honest, big question is, should we open up regular imaging bat to all nerds on the server? Part of me wants to integrate targets that we shoot on the bat with the whole server. And have a small group doing Lucky Imaging rather than splitting the bat off from the whole server. So yeah, good question. I feel like in the future I'll be announcing to the whole server, we're shooting this target. Come on everyone, let's shoot it. And the competition channel will also have that target as one of the competitions, and everyone will be going for it, and they'll be entering into the competitions, and then they'll be uploading to the bat, and then we're gonna come out with the most amazing images ever. So that's my plan for the future, is to try and integrate the bat a bit more with nerds on the server in general. And by the way, anyone who's got the power to give people roles, I think bat mods might be able to. If someone does a good image, right, when they're taking the bat exam, or even if you see it in the gallery on the main server, just right click them and turn them into a nerd. Anyone who can take a half decent image should be a nerd. Yeah. All right. I'm going to carry on because it's been going an hour, so I just need to get to the end of this. Otherwise, everyone's going to, like, I don't know, drop dead or something it'll be Christmas before I get to the end of this. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the horse head. I want to say, Stefan, well done, sir. Look at this. So I put in a request to get footage for the horse head, and we have got like coming up to 100 hours or something like that of integration time, which is awesome. We still need more. Stefan has done this. Stefan, why don't you just quickly hop up and just tell us what you used to shoot this?
All right, so I used a 6-inch Newtonian for this. I decided to travel to a dark side for this image actually because I really wanted to get some good data on this. So I got lucky actually in February, I think. I got very lucky that there was 2 clear skies, and I actually also had time to spend a whole night there. So basically I went to the German Alps, which is really dark skies, and well, I got pretty good results here, and I was actually amazed how sharp I was able to capture this. I didn't think that a 6-inch could get these kinds of details, but yeah, it can, and it's
Yeah.
actually really cool.
That is amazing. Okay, thank you, Stefan. I'm going to throw you back because I've got quite a few bits to get through, but I just want to say, look at that with a 6-inch scope. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. It's very close to what I got actually with my C14 from London. I'm going to blame the seeing. Just goes to show actually what you can do. This was Space Gearette. Lovely, 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 lovely stuff. Lovely, I've forgotten what that nebula's called as well. Really nice as well. This is my one. To be honest,
That's
I think...
NGC 2023, by the way, Rory.
Okay, thank you.
The nebula.
This is my one shot from London with the C14, so not a hugely better, I would say. And this is a beautiful wide shot by LMC. Really nice again. So we've got 100 hours of data on this. I mean, it's going to be, you know, are we going to get the most amazing shot of this area ever? It's entirely possible. So really we need to start thinking about getting this into the processing factory. We need to do a competition to see who can then process it the best. Also, we need to have a look at what images are aligned and what images aren't aligned. And we might need to have an aligning party, which is where people who've got PixInsight come together on the Discord server. We divvy up all the shots that aren't aligned and we align them together in a big party with Guinness. And then it should just take a you know, one evening and we should get everything aligned. And then once it's all aligned, right, it's just super easy for, well, I say super easy. Processors, it just takes an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe away from the processing time. Okay, so that is Horsehead essentially, which I reckon is going to be amazing. And the thing that I want to finish off on is M106. So M106, I don't know if you remember, was the thing that got me into lucky imaging in the first place. I did a video about it called 700 versus 7 million or something. It was my Red Devil, which is a 6-inch Newtonian that I got for 60 quid, taking on some big scope in America, like a real professional observatory, McDonald's Observatory maybe. Anyway, McDonald's Observatory has shot M106. This is M106. This is what Acme Astro has done already. Brilliant. It's a beautiful, beautiful nebula, and it's got like a hydrogen alpha, or at least red fronds coming out the top as well, which you can't see in this, and bottom. It is actually a starburst galaxy, I believe, similar to M82. Not quite as starbursty as M82, but it's an absolutely gorgeous galaxy. It's reasonably large. The area around it, so people with smaller scopes, there's lots of really cool stuff going on around it. Here we can see a couple of other galaxies, but there's more. So the people with smaller scopes getting the wide shots will look incredible. People shooting narrowband in the city can shoot hydrogen alpha to get the hydrogen alpha fronds coming out of it. To be honest, I should have gotten a picture of it that's like fully processed and stuff, but I haven't. And it's right above us, so we can lucky image it as well. So I want this to be a really big push for the spring. I want us to produce a shot as good as the M82 that we got. an M81. I want that to be this. In fact, I almost don't want to say this, but the Encyclopedia of Messier Objects requested to use our M82, M81 shot in their book, which costs about £100, I think, and it just runs through all the Messier objects with the most beautiful images, right? And they requested to use ours, but unfortunately we couldn't do it because because of copyright issues, which is a shame. But I told them we're going to shoot this, yeah, and that we'll be back, and they can use our, we'll have all that squared away, and they're going to be able to use these kind of shots in further publications, and we will be able to get a couple of free books which will go to the people who have contributed most to the image. Also, I'm hoping to give really nice images to people who contribute that are professionally printed at the print space in London with this shot. Okay, so I want to do a really big push on it. I want lucky images to get through it. Anyway, here's some people have done some really great stuff already. So Acme Astro, great. Batman, well done, sir. Actually, Steve, are you here? Do you want to just say a little bit about this image?
Where are we? What image is that? Sorry.
Oh crap. Sorry. That's me, yeah. So did you see this one?
Oh yes, that, yes.
Now this is yours. This one.
Okay, yeah. Shot December, I think. Just 2 hours, roughly 2 hours.
Lovely colours, aren't there?
Using 5-inch refractor.
Wow. What was it, like an Apo refractor?
It's William Optics 132mm triplet. With field flattener.
Ooh.
I guess you can say it's a quad, really. Yeah.
I mean, the colours that you're getting are outstanding. And for 2 hours, that's brilliant. And with a few more hours, we'll also get those, fronds coming out the top. And there's more galaxies here. So well done, mate. Really good job. Hopefully we'll get some more clear skies. I've only got my C14 for 1 more month.
Okay.
So we have to have, this month, the rest of this month, it's only half a month. So I absolutely need to have clear skies so that I can lucky image this galaxy this month. This is a Lucin, less processed, but I think we can, I'm not on it again. Sorry. If you guys want to shout out when I'm being an idiot, well, maybe not too often, but Lucin's got some lovely detail in here. This is brilliant. Well done. Have I got any more? This is Space Madness, was doing different kind of exposure lengths. Okay, so to finish off with, it's kind of relevant to this. So this is kind of lucky imaging. To finish off with, I've got a question for you guys. I think that... let me just run through. I think that for lucky imaging, which is something that I really need to push, because people know how to regular imaging. Lucky imaging is kind of like, it's not formulated the best path to take. I think we should be using Cyril to stack our lucky imaging data. When you stack Cyril, it registers all the shots, right? So I've got like 12,000 shots. It registers all of them. It puts a full width half maximum on the stars, so you can easily select which stars you stack. Okay, so I think that we should try, and if you're lucky imaging, right, some nights the seeing's really bad, some nights it's really good. I think that we should try and stack images that are above a certain full width half maximum of our stars. Okay, so I think we should stack all our images that are above 2 arc seconds, full width half maximum, and then I think we should do another stack of all our images that are above 1.5 arc seconds, And then we do a third stack, which is of all our images above 1 arc second, of which I wouldn't have any. But it might be, and this is the beauty of this, someone gets a night with really good seeing. So you might not have the biggest scope, but if you get really good seeing, you can kick ass. And so I think that's how we should do it, because then we can take all the lucky imaging stacks that are 2 arc seconds and better. We can stack them together to see how much detail we can get. Because the problem with lucky, what we've not done yet, right, is when you lucky image, you don't get much of the faint stuff, right? Because you throw so much away, you just don't have a lot of data, so you don't get much faint stuff. But if we have 12 people doing a shot like this, then the noise gets reduced by whatever the square root of 12 is, right? So we will start to get more of this fainter stuff, and we'll start to be able to see the things in the dimmer areas. Okay, so I believe for lucky imaging M106, we want to try and get people who lucky imaging below 2 arc seconds, below 1.5 arc seconds, and below 1 arc second, and upload those. Now my question is, how long should our exposures be? And obviously it's different for different scopes, but I'm trying to work out, this is what I'm currently trying to do, is it better to shoot really short, like 200 milliseconds, 100 milliseconds, and not get any of that faint stuff, but hope that when we stack a lot of that together, we do start to reveal it? Or when we shoot short exposures, should we increase our exposure length so that you at least can start to see in each individual sub like a little bit of something, right? So that's my question. And Lucin has come up onto the stage. I believe he's going to start telling us what he thinks.
Yeah, and this is definitely not a hard answer. I've been playing with down to 100 milliseconds, 1 second, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, even 10 seconds. And I think it depends. I think it depends on your target. If your target is really bright, then you can get away with those shorter subs. If it's a really faint thing and you're trying to get fronds on M106, then maybe you want to think about some longer sub lengths. But the one other thing that depends is how long do you get to image that target? Because if you have 8 hours based on your sky view and things like that, maybe you do want to push the limits a little bit more and do shorter subs, and then you can cull the data after that. And that's just my take on it. And my results from experimentation puts me, for my setup, at f6.5 around the fastest I ever really should do is half a second up to 2 seconds. Because if you go under a second, you're freezing the seeing.
Yeah, which is what we want to do, yeah?
Yes.
So you're saying between half a second and 2 seconds.
That's just for my setup at f6.5. So, if you have a faster scope, you might be able to do shorter subs. When
you shot at 2 seconds, what was your full width half maximum like compared with your half seconds?
I've seen a direct linear relationship between sub length. I don't know the hard numbers off the top of my head, but there's a direct relationship with sub length and full width half max getting reduced as you do shorter and shorter, which, that could just be to it sort of dancing around and sort of optically dithering through the atmosphere. So it's hard to say if that's indeed actually sharpening the signal or just spreading it around.
Theoretically, there is a direct relationship between sub length and under 1 second. We've got a graph actually. Really, you want 10 millisecond exposures, right? When you shoot 10 millisecond exposures, and this is useful for planetary images, you've gotten short enough. That's kind of like the optimum length, and the longer you go from 10 milliseconds, you get it increases your full width half maximum. Yeah. So it doesn't surprise me that you're getting better results with half second. The question then becomes, and I think you've alluded to this. Oh, by the way, we're never going to get the fronds on with Lucky Imaging. Lucky Imaging is only for the sort of bright core, really. But we need to rely on people doing long exposures to get those fronds. But the question is there a point where we're getting so little data that it's actually useless? You said your 8 hours maybe would work. I'm thinking, yeah, but either 8 hours would work, or if you did 1 hour and 7 other people did an hour, then that's your 8 hours, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Because we're a group here, we're all working together, and
yeah, that would have a lot more integration time, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe we should shoot as long as we can. Do we all? I haven't done it actually, but does your program tell you the full width half maximum of your stars as you're shooting?
I've heard SharpCap can do that at runtime, and I know Mr. Crazy Physicist has been playing with that as it's recording SIR files, I believe. I haven't done it myself on that one.
I wonder whether we should increase our exposure length to get to 2, and when we hit 2 arc seconds, we go, right, that's the upper limit of my exposure length. I shouldn't go any higher than that. I wonder if that's how we should play it.
Yeah, I think it's worth a shot.
Maybe. So yeah, but I think you found with some of your data that it's better to have more photons, because you end up getting less noise, and less noise equals, so more photons, longer exposures gives you less noise, right? And less noise equals more detail. Yeah. So that's playing. So there is that battle, isn't there, between longer exposures, which gives you less noise, therefore more detail, or shorter exposures, which means the atmospheres, you're freezing the atmosphere, so you're getting sharper, more detail, but more noise, which ends up giving you less detail. So there's that balance, and I think if people are Lucky Imaging, if they're able to do some more tests on that, that would be good. So what would you say then, Elucin? What's your perfect one, do you think?
My perfect wand?
Yeah.
What was that?
Were you shooting M106? What were you shooting?
Well, that was somewhat longer subs, I believe. Maybe 30 seconds to 2 minutes, something like that. So that was long exposures. That wasn't lucky, I don't think.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I was gonna say though that I believe as people pick their sub length, the dynamic range of their camera directly should have an impact or influence their decision on their sub length. Because if you have a lot of rich dynamic range with your camera, then maybe you can get away with shorter subs.
I don't get you. I don't understand that at all.
Okay.
When I'm shooting half second exposure, right? It's dim. What I'm looking at is really, really dim. Nothing is blowing out at the top. I just whack the gain up loads. I mean, I have my gain at like 100, 200. I whack the gain way up. Yeah, I'm not worrying about dynamic range. We're getting so few photons. We don't need to think about dynamic range.
Well, so I just posted the table in the Bat Cave. What we're really trying to do is what you said, the photons. If the full well of an individual pixel doesn't get filled up, then it won't increase. It won't measure it.
No.
So hopefully I'm not misunderstanding this, but that's what we can see is what we want to do is measure those faint grays, and if it's actually measurable by our cameras, then we can get away with shorter subs and things like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think you might be a little bit confused. We don't need to worry about dynamic range when we're Lucky Imaging. If this is a well of our camera, right, our pixel, right, And we get like, I don't know, 1,000 photons when we're lucky imaging. You know, we'll get very little. You know, that well, if your gain is not very high, it's a normal setting, then that well is going to fill up about this much, right? And you've got all this wasted space. What you need to do is whack your gain up loads, so that the gain effectively increases how full your well gets. So you whack it up loads, and the real reason you whack your gain up is because it reduces read noise. And read noise when you shoot lots of exposures, read noise is the biggest source of noise. So you need to reduce read noise as much as possible. And by whacking the gain up, that reduces your read noise. In every camera that there is, the more gain you have, the lower the read noise. And because we're collecting most people don't like whacking their gain up because they're shooting like 10-minute exposures and they're really worried about their well filling up and overflowing, and then it's blown out and useless. We're lucky imaging. We don't need to worry about it overflowing.
Because it's faint.
Because it's so faint, you're only going to get like 1,000 photons going in there. So even at way big gain, you can see it in your shots. You can see it because it's dull. Yeah, the core of the galaxy is quite dull grey. Yeah, it's only when it's bright white and blown out that you need to worry about that maybe you need to bring your gain down or shorten your exposure. Just doesn't happen in lucky imaging. Yeah.
So actually, I do think maybe Illusion has a point, because think about it. If the dynamic range is higher, couldn't you just in theory whack up the gain far more than when you have like less dynamic range? So you just have like much more room to get to very high gain, and that's the idea of using the high dynamic range.
Yeah, just whack it up as much as you can. Yes, I guess maybe if you've got a lot of dynamic range, you'll have much more room. But I think even if you don't have much dynamic range, when you're shooting half-second exposures, you still don't get anywhere near the top. So you can still whack your gain up loads. Yeah. Okay, I guess I vaguely understand that. It's just in practice, it doesn't seem to be a problem, I don't think.
It might be something that I'll try. Thanks for the...
Yeah, just
we'll experiment.
Whack your gain up loads. I think that when you're lucky imaging, you want to see a faint, even though you want to see some sort of faint nebulosity, I think. And you want to have your gain whacked up way high. Yeah. Read noise is super important. And I think really to seriously lucky image, you need to have one of these cameras that has like, will go down to like 1 electron per pixel per shot, basically. Which the modern ZWO and QHY cameras do that. Yeah. Alrighty, I think I'm done. Does anyone? So yeah, that's me done really with what I was going to talk about. I think. Thank you everyone. We've gone over a bit, which is a shame, but there we go. But before I go, anyone got any more questions? Nope. Oh, Storm Gaming has.
Hi. It's a little unrelated, but I'm got my DSLR, right? And I'm kind of thinking, should I get the monochrome camera first or dual narrowband first?
Well, monochrome camera is way more expensive because then you need to buy individual filters. I think dual narrowband is a really clever use of OSC of a color camera, personally. But it's up to you.
Well, I can afford both though, so I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, it's a toss up between surface area. Right, so you potentially get a more surface area with a full frame DSLR than you get with a monocam.
Right.
Monocam. If you want to do lucky imaging, you probably do need a monocam.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's up to you. Alrighty, guys, if you're buying anything AstroE, I'd really appreciate it if you could use my affiliate links. you can type. I think you can type. What is it you type? Should I try typing something now? I think it's help Astro Biscuit or something. Does anyone remember what to type? Astro Biscuit. I can't remember. Toaster, do you remember? I've got this thing where you just type help Astro Biscuit anywhere in the server and it comes up with all my affiliate links. Anyway, I'd really appreciate it if, particularly now, I'd really appreciate people using the links. Especially you guys in America. No one in America seems to use those links. If you do use the links, tell me about it so I can thank you as well. Alrighty.
I'll start using it for you.
Thank you.
Hey,
Cole Reese, right, you're here. Go ahead.
yeah. So I just wanted to give you an update because we've got the 0.7 meter, right?
I remember you talking about this. Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we figured out that there was a serious issue with our right ascension motor. It was, I think the coils inside of it have corroded. So we bought new motors for it, and we're getting those hopefully attached here. Our lead engineer guy, he's very meticulous, and so he takes his time on his projects, but we're hoping that within the next month, which should only be missing 1 or 2 clear skies for us here. Hopefully in like the next month, we're gonna have the 0.7 meter up. And then I also now have my Hyperstar Edge 8 all calibrated and ready to go. So I'm gonna start including some of that data now. I just haven't, I've been struggling with the whole calibration process, but I think I've started to wrap my head around everything so I can start getting some real data for you guys.
Awesome. Well done. I mean, you know, this game is, I mean, it does take a long time to get your not you, but anyone's shit together and your gear working.
Exactly.
It just does.
And also working with like a big association, you know, it's, if it was me and I had nice deep pockets, it would happen today. But, you know, I have to cross tape and make sure everyone's on board and make sure we're spending money because it's not my money.
Yeah.
So,
well, it'll be awesome to have you. And, you know, we're here for the long haul. So, you know, and I basically all autumn, I was unable to image and, yeah, we just, you know, we are figuring this out as we go along all together. So
exactly.
It'll be great to have you. And the people who are most, and I'm glad you've come back and you've stuck at it, because yeah, we need folks who are able to, you know, not sort of not just here on a sunny day sort of thing, but here for the long haul is what we need.
Yep.
So thank you very much.
Of course, yeah.
And if anyone remembers, if anyone remembers what to type, it's help Astro Biscuit, but there's something in front of it that means the bot does the whole thing. I'd appreciate knowing right now. Does anyone remember? No one knows, do they? Oh, someone did it. It's just help Astro Biscuit. Watermelon Pet, you are an absolute star. Just help Astro Biscuit. There we go. Everyone should help Astro Biscuit. All right, awesome. Thanks, everyone. Unless there's someone else who wants to chime in. Any of you, Toasty, Batman, anyone else want to say anything before we... Stefan, JF Kennedy's back.
I have a question. Are there any lucky imaging targets for high focal length untracked instead of Orion and Andromeda? Because they're very bright, but is there anything other like a planetary nebula that is bright enough?
Well, the big one we're going for is M106, right? That's what we're looking at.
But I think I can't get this with my telescope, and I can. This would be a bit hard.
What's the problem? Why is it? Is it because you don't? Is it difficult to find?
To find, centered, and to see.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I want to go all in on M106 rather than sort of spread it around more other ones at the moment, I'm afraid. So yeah, it's
I think my astronomy club has a Skywatcher Eco 8R Pro, and maybe the top can fit on this mount.
Yeah, it should be able to. Yeah, and also.
And they also have a C14. Maybe I can
Ooh,
use it for lucky imaging for the bed.
yeah, that would be awesome, and I'm hoping I will too. All right, thanks, JF Kennedy. I'm sorry I'm not putting out another target for you, but I hope you understand why. Watermelon Pet.
Hey, I have a question. Are we going to? What kind of targets will we be able to shoot with smaller scopes like 4-inch Dobsonian and smaller ray factors?
M106.
Really?
Yep, we do wide field and lucky imaging, right? So there's loads of really nice galaxies around M106. So if you're able to get them, yeah, go on.
Does pixel scale matter? Because my pixels are kind of big.
Yeah, I mean, how small is your scope?
Well, 400 millimeter, and there's a second one I need to get tested if it's allowed in here.
400 millimeters should be fine. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
To be honest, you're not going to have a huge number of targets at this time of year. Like there's some targets. Yeah. Where there's a few galaxies together, like the triplet in Leo and stuff like that. But for smaller scopes, there's not a huge amount. But I would be very pleased if you were able to do wide field on M106. Deep as you can.
I'll do that.
If you can, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
All right. Thank you.
Orbit 3.
So I can have a question regarding the M106.
Mm.
It's galaxy season, so I'm not going to be shooting any nebulae here soon, but I'm picking up a dual narrowband filter here in the next couple days.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering if it's any use with OSC dual narrowband to shoot the hydrogen kind of spewing out of M106.
Yeah. It is.
Okay, because I didn't know if it would be any use to kind of contribute that to the bat, or if that should just really stick to mono HA.
Well, I think it would be nice. I think that there's oxygen clouds as well in M106. So yeah, I think it would be great if you're able to. Then it would be most welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool because I have some clear moonless skies coming up here soon. So.
Oh, that would be brilliant. I mean, basically, the more we can get, the better, right? If we want to get these hydrogen alpha fronds, well, then it's going to take you and another 15 other people shooting it, right? And your OSC data with those dual filters, it's as good as a. I mean, all right, you lose a little bit of resolution compared with the mono guys shooting just, but it's still as good essentially. You're getting as many photons, although those photons are split between hydrogen and oxygen. So yeah, we'll put it in the pot, and I want to get these fronds to be amazing. So the more we can get, the better. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And also the O3 sections. Yeah. In fact, it might just be quickly worth mentioning. If I go to the my desktop, this shot of Andromeda, right, that was taken, right. The guy did loads of O3, yeah, and got the cloud. But looky here. By shooting loads of O3, he actually also managed to get a really cool nebula here. So, something surprising might come out. If everyone's doing just hydrogen, it might be that actually oxygen is the thing that throws out something surprising. So
yeah, that is true. I know some other people like Jack L that also have dual narrowband, and he has a pretty sharp 10-inch Newtonian, so we could get some data.
Awesome. Alrighty, is that cool, Orbit?
Yes.
WonderWeb.
Hi. On the Andromeda oxygen arc, will 7 nanometer oxygen filters be okay, or would you be, are we looking at 3 nanometer, 5 nanometer?
Yeah, it's I mean, a 7 nanometer oxygen filter is as good as a 3 nanometer oxygen filter if you're somewhere darker. So in London, my 3 nanometer filter would do about the same as, actually I don't know the maths of it, but let's say a village, which was still had light pollution but not as bad as mine. So
yeah, I'm Portal 5 around where I am. So
yeah, so you'll be great. Good, it'll be good.
It's worth a go then.
Yeah. Oh, but just Andromeda isn't out at the moment. But yeah,
Yes,
we will be getting it. It is going to be after M106. I guess we'll be getting it before summer shuts us down completely.
Yeah, great.
Cool, man. Thanks, WonderWeb. Good to see you. Jack L.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I was just thinking with big scopes as well, it might be worth imaging M106, just regular imaging. You can still pick up some decent resolution, but there's a ton of really cool background galaxies around it.
Oh god, 100%. Yeah. And actually weirdly, we don't have that much regular imaging data on Orion. But yeah, to get the shot that I want, right? I want a picture of M106, not like super zoomed in, right? I want the galaxy. I want to see all the cool other galaxies that are around it. I want to see the fronds picking up. And the lucky imaging guys are just getting this bit of the picture, right? The very, very fine detail in the middle. I want the best of all worlds. So yeah, absolutely. We want regular images. And to be honest, when we did the M82, M81 data, the thing that everyone loved most was the plethora of galaxies in the background. They all friggin' loved that. And that was nothing to do with me or Mr. Crazy Physicist Lucky Imaging Data. Or actually, yeah, there was one other chap as well who did Lucky Imaging. But, you know, and that's the thing that everyone loved. So, yeah, that's what we need.
I think I have managed to pick up some galaxies, some of them far away as 6 billion light years in my data. That's just with a few hours.
Yeah. And when we all club together, it'll be even better.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks, Jack. Cole, you're back.
Yeah, I had a question. Do we have any plans as a group, since we just passed the full moon of March, to do like a group Messier marathon?
No, we don't have any plans.
Oh,
I'm afraid.
I was thinking that would be something fun on top of all these like super images that we're doing as a group. I think it would be really cool as a group to try to shoot all 110 in one night. They don't have to be amazing final cut images, but it would be really cool as a group to get the whole catalog in one night.
Yeah, it would. But mate, I just got to say it isn't going to happen because it's a hell of a lot of organising, and I'm afraid at the moment I just don't have the time to do it. If you wanted to head it up, be my guest. The problem that I think we find is I've got some really cool people helping me out here, actually, but it is quite hard organising everyone.
Well, I'm happy to take up that challenge.
Oh, well, give it a go. But I just warn you, you could be absolutely amazing. Which I'm not, clearly you are. Clearly you are amazing. But just simply because people don't know who you are, it's actually quite hard.
Okay.
I'm just putting that out there. But if you wanna like be involved more and push things more, then I'm all for it. I just warn you, it's hard, and unless you've been around and in the group for a while, I probably won't invest that much. I won't be like with you doing stuff.
No problem. I've been around the group for probably about a year now, and
I do remember you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been pretty close with a couple of the guys here when we're all hanging out in the speakeasy.
Oh, cool.
And such. And but it's a project that I've been working on the side. So I have a lot of the work, like the groundwork done for it. So if people are interested, I will put all the work together, and I'll talk with one of the Discord admins or something, and I can put all the information together for people to make it really easy, because I've done all the legwork for myself to do it, besides putting out a full sequence for Nina. But once I do have that all dialed in, I'll give the JSON files to everyone. We can all just run it together.
You know what? It sounds like you live somewhere where there's clear skies as well.
I wish I lived somewhere with clear skies. That's why I want to get the whole group involved.
I see. Okay.
But,
yeah, it's good.
Anyway.
I love your ambition.
Yeah.
I love it. And I should, yeah. All right. Well, let's see how we go. Let's see if we can get some interest, okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Cheers, Cole.
Cheers.
All right. No more questions. Zaf, is it like, it can't be 6 a.m. in the morning anymore. Are you able to say hello before I go? Or are you still brushing your teeth? Maybe you haven't had your coffee.
Can you take one more, Rory? Question?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, so we have in the house Alpha's story, and I can't even read the last bit of your name because it's too long.
It's German. It's no problem.
Oh, hold
Just
on. Here we go.
Markus.
No, I can see it down here. Alpha's story.
It's German and it means something like Alpha Destroyer X. It's my gaming tag. It's from it's from 2008, so long time ago.
Alpha's story. Could you say it so that at least people get an idea?
Alpha Zerstörer in German.
I was actually really close. Okay, yes, go ahead.
Is it worth a try to lucky image M106 with a full frame DLSM with F7, with a scope with F7?
Yeah, how fat is it? How fat is the scope?
I told it, I think last time, it's 36-inch Cassegrain from the observatory I work voluntary for.
Yes! Okay. Yes!
It's worth a try. Okay, because
yes!
I made a test try with Andromeda and it wasn't that promising. But okay, when you say it's worth a try, then I will try it. And
it's frigging totally worth it. It'll be amazing. It'll be absolutely amazing. When you've got a big scope like that, you could put a mobile phone on the end of it. It would look amazing.
Yeah. In worst case, I can use my planetary camera. It's just 1.3 megapixels, but it's
use your DSLR.
Full spectrum.
Use the DSLR. It'd be much better, much bigger surface area. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I mean, you could maybe try the planetary camera for lucky imaging the core if you wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah. I will shoot normal imaging with this. It's I watch it on Stellarium. It would be the whole galaxy covering the frame. But I don't know, with lucky imaging, with the DLSM, with the electronics shutter, I just can go to the maximum exposure of 0.5 seconds. So it's very short for deep detail.
When you say DSLM, do you mean DSLR?
DLSM, Canon R6.
Is that a DSLR? Is that you?
It's a DLSM. It's without a mirror.
Oh, that's what I call it. Gosh, I didn't even. Right, so I just call them mirrorless. Sorry, I hadn't picked up on that acronym. Yes, don't bother doing lucky imaging with that. I would say, do normal exposures with that.
Sorry, I didn't understand this.
With
Please
your
say again.
with your DSLM, do like, I don't know, 2-minute exposures if you can. Yeah. With your don't try and do 0.5 seconds with it. Do like 2 minutes. It'll be much better. I don't think Lucky Imaging will work with that camera. If you want a Lucky image, use your planetary camera because the read noise will be so much lower.
The read noise isn't that much different because I looked in the internet, and the read noise from the R6 with 12,800 ISO is 1.26.
Oh, on the DSLM?
Yes.
Oh, that is
With
very
six-
good. It's a new one
with-
then. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's from 2020. I got it new in November.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, try it. Try it then, yeah. I mean,
Okay, I tried
obviously,
and
yeah.
yeah. Is it good enough for Lucky imaging if I try 10-second exposures?
No, it needs to be under 2 seconds, really.
Okay. Yeah, 2 seconds. That's it's heavy for the mechanical shutter, so 0.5 or 10 seconds or longer. Yeah, yes.
Sort of under 2 seconds if you can. I mean, try it. I mean, you've got an amazing scope. You might have good seeing. It might work with 2 second, 10-second exposures. But if you want to actually do Lucky imaging, you need to get shorter than that. You do.
Okay, thank you. Then I will try out 0.5 and 10 seconds and 2 minutes. I can go much higher. I made pictures with 8 minutes without any problems with the
that with the mount that you've got, that will be amazing.
Yeah, with the mount, exactly.
Yeah, well, okay, that would be amazing. I would say 0.5, and then I wouldn't bother with 10. Maybe 5 seconds. Really, at 10 seconds, you might as well be shooting for a minute or 2 minutes, because in 10 seconds the atmosphere will have wobbled. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a lot of atmospheric wobble that happens in 10 seconds. It's almost the same as 2 minutes, and you'll get a much better signal to noise ratio in 2 minutes. So try and go like, I don't know, 5 seconds and half a second would be amazing. Yeah.
Okay, I will try this. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, thanks, mate. Zaf, how you doing?
Good. It's not that early. It's 10 to 10 in the morning.
Jesus Christ, it's really late. I would have bugged you much earlier if I'd have known. I always assume it's like 6 a.m. in the morning.
Daylight savings changes in a month, I think. So it probably will be then.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So is everything all right there?
Yeah. We've got 5 of people from the Discord heading out to the Astronomy Victoria Star Party this coming Saturday, the 18th. So we're going to meet up.
Really? Oh,
the
that
beautiful
is
Bortle
brilliant.
1 skies.
Oh, bloody hell, that sounds amazing. So is Ryan going to be there?
He is. He's coming down. He's got a bit of a drive, but Ryan, Sammy, and a couple of others.
Oh, I'm so happy. That is brilliant. I really, one of my resolutions this year is to meet more people. And in fact, it's worth mentioning, I'm getting this travel rig together, and I want to do astro battles with people, like, one night, shooting the same target. So obviously I'm not going to come and visit you, Zaf, but not until my ship comes in. Yeah, but yeah. So if anyone here wants to take me on in a battle, which will be a YouTube video, then yeah, do get in touch. Wow, I'm so happy you're all going to meet up. That is brilliant. And give Ryan my love. He's a absolutely fantastic help to the server.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
And just speaking of Ryan and Variable Nebula, last year we were looking at NGC 6729 in the southern skies, which we think the variability is measurable in potentially even hours, but definitely days.
Yeah, I think it's hours, isn't it? As I was
Yeah.
working it out, because it's so close, isn't it?
Yeah, 400 light years, something like that.
Yeah.
So there might be something to do.
Yeah.
It's not a good time of year now, but in about 6 months. Yeah.
What would be amazing, and I'm sure you've thought of this already, is we have you guys in Australia shooting it for your night, over, like in 2 or 4 hour intervals, something like that. We get someone in South Africa, maybe someone else in Chile, maybe, so we can try and do it over a whole night, shooting the variable nebula. That would be that's a dream thing that would to happen. Yeah.
I think it's a shape-changing one rather than a ripples, but yeah.
Oh, well, that's
still
cool. Yeah.
Look pretty cool.
Because it's right. Okay. Awesome. I see. Because the nebula actually gets brighter and darker within a couple of hours. The star, I mean. Yeah. Brilliant. All right. Thanks, Zaf. Lovely to hear from you again. And
thanks.
Yeah. Alrighty. Cool. I'm going to sign off now, I think. Yeah, I'm signing off. Bye, everyone. Take care. You can wave your hand to say goodbye now. Yay! People are waving their hand, and hopefully on YouTube they can see the hand waving. There we go. All right, bye.